are accessible. Go ahead.
Essentially provides tax cuts for the end of the year. When you create your tax returns, they give you a tax credit for hiring someone who is black or a person of color. I don't know if you knew that.
In these agencies?
In agencies and private
In government
businesses.
agencies, they don't get tax cuts for hiring people
And the other thing I wanted to, and the other thing I want to, the other thing I want to kind of state here is that I've realized that a lot of the times with the liberals is that you guys push for example, for DEI and people of Latino or Hispanic descent. And a lot of the times what you don't realize is you're actually doing more harm than good by putting them in positions where you make them believe that it's based on the color of their skin. It's based on...
Sam crushed 20 Trump supporters during Jubilee series. One of the clips we are going to watch is Sam completely schooling a gay Trump supporter. This guy was insane. How can you look at a room of people literally saying they don't want to see you kiss your partner in public and still think they're your allies? Make sure to subscribe, guys. This is a place to get your progressive news.
DEIA is not...
It's based on merit. DEI emphasizes color, skin color, physical attributes.
It says that the people who work in your agency, it's about anti-discrimination.
Discrimination against what?
Against people who may have different cultural mores, may have different...
But that's irrelevant to a job, right? It should be based on merit. And that is the emphasis
people
here.
Get hired as a merit, but if the DEIA, I'm talking about Trump's rescission of these orders
on these agencies. As an employer, wouldn't you hire a person of color?
Dude,
if you could pay them less?
Listen, we're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts. They don't. Government agencies.
They don't.
No.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
I'm talking about...
Do you understand? Like, there's such a cascade of complete nonsense that it was sort of hard for me to catch up and address. Like, how do you have a conversation with someone who thinks government agencies? How do you have a policy conversation with somebody who thinks government agencies pay taxes?
The FDA is busy doing their taxes because it's coming up now.
I mean, Sam, the grass is blue. Grass is blue.
The IRS.
Yes, it is.
You really got to monitor. When the IRS does their taxes, you really got to monitor it because they know how to get around all of the rules.
I think, I almost feel for him because I feel like he's almost putting on this smug persona
it's an audition.
In a way to really obscure the fact that he has no idea what he's talking about.
But the thing is, he volunteered to go jump and sit in that seat. It's just the level of assuredness and the absolute level of wrongness. And so I was completely flummoxed at this point. I didn't know how to communicate any further, but this is what I did.
No,
they do. They absolutely do.
I'm talking about
every private and public sector gets tax cuts when you hire a person of color.
Government agencies don't pay taxes. Government agencies are funded by the government.
That is not true. That is not true. And you know what? I think the whole juxtapose of this entire conversation.
What month is this?
This is January.
Okay, so we can agree on that. The FDA does not pay taxes. It does not get a tax cut because it doesn't pay taxes. DEIA forces them as an agency to say, if you have a job opening, you must do your best efforts to make sure that every
I like that.
part
Love
of
me a
society...
buzzword. You must do your best effort.
How can you pause it?
Like, how do you respond to that? Must. Must is not a buzzword.
Must. It's a buzzword, apparently.
It's more like legalese.
It almost, like honestly, I have to say, it was a brilliant strategy because I am so confused as to what is going on here?
What? That's a very nice buzzword there. Why are you hiding behind words that connect other words here?
I don't know if there's any more to play there. I guess, people can watch this.
People can watch it.
But the funny part about this is on Twitter,
Always fun to see the working class defending tax cuts for billionaires. Imagine being an average dude defending the fact that the super wealthy shouldn't pay more into Social Security. That's in another clip. But these people are so poorly educated, it's embarrassing.
I saw some clip of it. This guy, Carly Bonet,
He said yeesh. So it's clearly, I think it's about like how much you embarrass this person. And they say yeesh, but it's not specific about who is who and who's the liberal.
I don't know who anything about Carly Bonet. I suspect that they must be a conservative because blue check, flag, and cat turd must follow them, right?
Right.
And so he sees this and just assumes that this guy is the liberal and writes, cat turd does, liberals are so dumb. And then people in the comments just start jumping on that bandwagon without looking at it.
Tisha Ramirez says that look you get when you know you have to debate a brainless, witless social justice warrior clown whose IQ is mid-50s.
Okay, and
They're making you into a conservative meme.
Picture, and they took a picture of me and say like, they think I'm the conservative in this.
We used to disagree on points of opinion. Now we disagree on points of fact. Unwillingness to change your mind after being exposed to new information is what's holding conservatives back.
They have not. It's fascinating.
The person responds, he's the progressive, actually. The guy who you're calling a clown, the clown is the conservative. Whoops. And then this person responds, really? He sounded like the adult in the room, LOL. Perhaps it could be a good opportunity for you to think about that a little bit more. Maybe you want to think about it a little bit more when you saw this clip, how Sam spoke authoritatively about things that he knows about, and this guy spewed a bunch of BS, and it's pretty obvious to anybody, right?
I just don't understand. Like, did people not listen to the thing, or
no,
or what?
They looked at you without the audio playing and said, "Look at that man.
Look at that man who is a cis." Older white man. Look at this younger person who
with
I don't
a fancy
know.
Haircut.
I don't know what his sexuality is, but
bigotry does not exist.
Yes,
guys.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all based on merit.
And so they just saw the identities of the people in the video and said, and also saw that you succeeded in beating up on that person rhetorically, and they thought it was you. So pretty incredible.
So that happened. Let's do we have the other one where
The sad part is that everyone in the room thinks that the person next to them shouldn't have rights or exist, and yet they all voted for the same thing.
oh yeah, the religious fundamental one.
This is the one that is being recirculated as the own on conservative media, which is also not true. But I do think it's something interesting to pay attention to with the reaction to which has gone viral, which is extremely exciting because you did such a great job. But like the fact that they saw the way that left-wing spaces responded to this debate and how much you humiliated these people that don't have basic knowledge, and they feel like they need to counteract that. So both Matt Walsh and Charlie Kirk tweeted about you. Matt Walsh tweeted about me last week too.
Right. And I think Knowles too.
Yeah, and they were like, oh, Sam Seder owned, and they used this clip as the example. I disagree, but it's the same thing with the cat turd thing. It doesn't. They didn't even. Most of them aren't even watching the video.
They want their people to go to the comments, and because the comments are massively in favor of Sam, they're trying to brigade it.
They're trying, and this happened with me with Tim Pool too, where the post-millennial and Elon Musk got on board when I thought I did a pretty good job in that debate. And then you, like 12 hours later, have all the conservative accounts at the same time saying Emma owned or now Sam owned, because they always think that they are so terrified of not being cool or being sidelined in the culture. So they flood the zone with a bunch of propaganda as a way to combat it.
It's cope.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of cope around this, but I will say that I don't think I handled this guy as well as I could have. Now, with that said, the prompt was, unless you are a billionaire or a xenophobic nationalist or a